Well, hello and welcome to the show. And aren't you in for a treat today? Because we have returning to the stage Dr. Mark Sylvester. Welcome to the show.
Yay!
I'll find some applause from somewhere and insert them. Probably not, though. So, the last time I interviewed you, I think I laughed the whole time, which is a good thing. Today,
It was a courtesy laugh.
it actually wasn't. I must say, I have referred to our interview as like one of the most entertaining interviews I've done thus far.
Ever.
And thus far.
Ever.
And ever. Okay, so while I was waiting for this interview to happen, I started reading this 11 things your psychiatrist wants you to know. Can you confirm or deny if you are, in fact, a psychiatrist?
Yes.
That is a yes, everybody. So I'm going to read these 11 things and I'm just going to see what you have to say about it. And I can't wait. So number one, yes, we all have clocks in our offices.
Okay, true. I do have a clock in my office.
Fantastic.
However,
yes,
it is down here at the corner of my computer.
Okay.
But I have been known to have, clocks around the room, various, which I don't right now, but I've been known to have that clock. Well, does it say the reason for that?
Yeah, we watch the time to pace ourselves, not because we want the session to be over. Many times I'm checking the clock to make sure I have enough time to cover all the things we need to before the session ends.
Absolutely. It's not intended to be rude.
Gotcha.
If I wanted to be rude, I would do this. No, I'm just kidding.
We're laughing. This is good. Number two, we are only slightly weirder than you are.
Yeah, I guess I'd give you that one. I'd give you that one.
Okay. The main thing that sets us apart from normal people is our ability to tolerate long pauses in conversation. Bunny ear, bunny ear.
Do I have to make a noise for it to pan to me going bunny ear, bunny ear? Could you repeat the question?
Oh, geez. Never mind. We're going to number three. We already know about the weird thing here. Most of us are not pill pushers.
Now that I disagree with, I think, because part of what makes me unique as a psychiatrist in the alternative psychiatry movement, functional psychiatry, is a general trend to get away from being pill pushers. And now you're really getting me upset because a lot of the psychiatrists say, oh, hey, what are you in for? Depression, anxiety, try the blue pill. Oh, the blue pill didn't work, try the red pill. And you're tampering with someone's mind, their perception of existence, their reality, the very template that they use to interact with the world. You're changing.
But it says most of us are not pill pushers.
So by pushing pills, to me, it's like playing Russian roulette with someone else's brain. And I don't sleep well at night doing that. So I do not identify with that crowd. I have often been described by my colleagues as being more conservative. I'm much more likely to begin a treatment, whether it's pharmacological treatment or nutraceutical treatment, with the least dose and the sort of the least strong, I guess, intervention.
Right. It says we don't get any sort of kickback or perks for prescribing medication.
Yeah, that one I don't get. They made that illegal a long time ago. So okay. We haven't been able to get that for in my whole life.
Well, when you could, you took full advantage. Is that what you're saying?
No, because it was before me. I'm pissed off. I couldn't get some of that.
Right, not kidding. Trust us, we don't want anyone taking medications if they don't need to.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. There are no kickbacks. There's no conspiracies and alternative motives. And quite frankly, I'm trained a lot about over-medication and polypharmacy and drug-drug interactions and but it's common sense. Someone should not be on a medication that they don't need.
Right.
Um,
Number
now,
4,
okay.
because we have 11 of these, and I have
Okay.
things to talk to you about today. Psychiatrist schedules are very different from other medical specialties, and there's no reason we like you to show up on time, and why we try very hard not to run late. Oh, there is a reason we like you to show up on time. You agree? I mean,
Am I supposed to agree with this one?
I
Yeah, I mean, I'm not inflexible, but we certainly get a lot of flack if we don't run on the minute, which I find interesting because, you know, I go to the OBGYN's office with my wife and sit there 3 hours, and that's with professional courtesy. But God forbid I'm 5 minutes late. I got people throwing chairs out in my waiting room, threatening my firstborn.
Number 5.
It's a double standard is what
a
I'm
little
saying.
bit, a little bit. We feel awful that the wait to get in to see us is so long.
I do. And you know why I feel awful? Because doing what we do isn't glamorous to most doctors. Most doctors are interested in fame and fortune and lifestyle. And we're actually in the trenches doing the work down there with patients, treating them like people and not diseases. And so it is important. It's important work.
It is important. And dare I say that for your practice, you bring on advanced practitioners that you personally train, and they incorporate your philosophy as to get a patient in versus making them wait, 9 years to get to you. That's an exaggeration. It's not 9 years.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we've designed our scheduling system to always have slots. So for not only for our own patients, emergencies, but new patients, be able to get them seen right away. It's more important now than ever with the pandemic. And, some of my colleagues' wait lists are going on months. I couldn't believe it. And they can't, people are wanting to be seen and they cannot get in to see a psychiatrist for 3 months. By that time, we might all be living on the moon.
With our good friend who's doing very well in that arena. Unless you are seeing a psychoanalyst, we won't ask you to lay down on the couch ever.
Yeah, please don't lay down on my couch.
Okay. We put a lot of thought into our office decor.
Do you want the truth one? You want the truth?
Of course, I want the truth.
My wife put a lot of thought in our office decor.
Thank God. Number 8.
Except this picture, that's mine. And if you don't like it, too bad. Find someplace else to go.
Okay, number 8. This is interesting. We don't analyze anyone outside of the office.
Wait, are we supposed to analyze people inside the office?
Hold on.
This is true. You know why? It's work. And when I get off work, I'm off the clock. And if you say, oh, you're a psychiatrist, are you analyzing me right now? My answer is no. Unless you're paying me a lot because I'm off duty, no, because it's work.
Hey, you know what?
It takes mental powers.
Yeah, I identify with that, and I'm not a psychiatrist. So if I'm off the clock and somebody wants to ask me questions about business, I identify with that. Oh, taking a breath. Number 9, you might have to help me pronounce this word. Most of us.
Onomatopoeia.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. All right, most of us think benzodiazepines.
Benzodiazepine.
Benzodiazepines are overprescribed. Is that what you think?
Agreed. So
Okay.
Benzodiazepines are drugs like Xanax, Ativan, Valium, Klonopin, many more people haven't heard of, chlordiazepoxide, Libriums. They were invented to help make barbiturates, which killed Marilyn Monroe and many, many, many other folks, probably Elvis too, and Michael Jackson, safer, as a safer alternative. But you know what? They're not perfect. They came with their own serious risks of all kinds of stuff. I could talk an hour, give a lecture just on that. So I would definitely agree with that statement that we have really minimized as much as we can in as much areas as we can and as much patient populations that benzos are kind of a last line of defense. One place they're still kind of liberal, I don't want to say liberally used, but most appropriate for are actual panic disorders, because panic attacks are pure physiologic events, and the benzos seem to be the go-to, even first-line treatment for that particular condition.
Gotcha. Number 10, we aren't miracle workers.
Clearly I am.
Clearly.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, good. Number 11, if you don't feel comfortable opening up to us, then we encourage you to find someone else. Patients,
That seems passive aggressive.
well, wait, patients have the best outcome when they feel a strong connection with their therapist. Our main goal is for you to feel better. So if we aren't the right one, please tell us so we can help you find a better one.
Okay, I like that. That's a little bit more diplomatic, you know. I just hate when things come across like, you know, subtle but loud at the same time, like when people aren't really communicating what they're really thinking and feeling.
Yeah, you want to put a little shout out into that mug of yours. Please do not confuse your Google search with my medical
degree.
I've seen that mug before. Not just in your office, Doctor.
I'm sorry, was that your question?
Was that product? You should do that with some product placement, you know? I don't know. That was good.
Right over my shoulder.
All right, so we kid, you and I.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we kid.
Record these.
We kid. But, you know, there really was a serious reason for me to ask you to be on the show today. You want to know why?
You didn't tell me that I had to be serious.
No. Well, I know. I'm telling you now.
Okay.
Okay. So the reason why I wanted you to be on the show today was because I'm really concerned about the mental health of our globe.
By globe, you mean planet?
Yeah, like I'm actually not just talking about Tampa Bay, Sarasota, Bradenton. I'm actually talking about the entire globe. So if I have this concern, I want to speak to somebody that may share the same, or maybe I can have somebody give some value or help to people that have the same concern as I do, that practice, you know, like a mental wellness routine. I'm very concerned about what's happening in the world. I'm not alone, you know.
No, you're not. And I mean, I was going to say me too, because it's affected everybody. And it's something we speak about quite frequently, you know, weekly at this point on our radio show, but, or TV show, or whatever we're allowed to call it.
Whatever. The show, just the show.
The show, the Alt Psych show. Plug.
Right. Maybe we'll put that across.
Because could you use some graphics over here?
Yes.
Click the link above. Okay.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, follow, friend.
Right.
Swipe right.
Tweet. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, what was the question? No, that it's something that, if anything, the turbulence, that's the word I'm looking for, of within the zeitgeist. Google that one. Of what's going on right now. The insanity, the dogs and cats living together, the mass hysteria, the uncertainty about the future. Is this going to go away? When's it going to go away? Who's going to get it? Who's not going to get it? Why are we sacrificing Granny on the business altar? And, you know, no, we need to be locked down for the next 10 years. Everyone's going to have a different reaction or a value judgment on certain facets of the way that this came to be, how it's being handled, and what's, God forbid, in the future. But one thing is universal. It's affecting us all. And so there's a great opportunity for solidarity that I'm surprised we don't see more of. And I don't know if it's because the riots derailed that natural evolution of what we were going to see. And I don't know, what were we going to see? Was everyone going to hold hands across the country and sing Kumbaya? I don't know, but I do think that we all have a shared common problem, from my next door neighbor to, you know, my family, to my coworkers, to my extended family or businesses, you know, strangers I meet in another state or even country for that matter. And it's something that we need to increase our vocabulary and really talk about how it's affecting us, the ways that we've noticed, the ways that we think it might be that we haven't noticed, or, you know, because someone else might be in a different place in that learning curve and understanding and coming to some acceptance of, you know, the world's changed and it's not going back. And the sooner we accept that and what that means and what the future looks like, the healthier we're going to be overall. But don't lay on my couch.
Right, as it says in number 8 or something on that list. I
do have a couch.
You do?
I do. It's more of a love seat, really.
Okay.
Only I lay on it.
Alrighty. Well, I really feel I feel concerned about a lot of people. You know, if I think about it too much, it would probably just I would probably be one of the people that might ask to be on your couch. I find a routine for me is super helpful, because when I don't have a routine or I have any idle time that is not in some kind of guided meditation, then I could read all of the stupid comments. Shouldn't say stupid. All right. Completely stupid comments on Facebook about, you know, others' opinions. And yes, when you said that whole kumbaya, I felt like that was, you know, like you saw the earth, you know, breathing and Mother Nature was coming, and then it was like, boom, throw in some riots. And that is causing obvious tension and trauma and all that crazy stuff. Crazy, always the word I seem to throw out when I talk to you. Not intentional. But
that's Freudian.
What do you say about like routines? There's so many obvious things that I don't want you to say, like, hey, you gotta eat right, you gotta exercise. I feel like I hear that all the time. I know, like, you play volleyball.
Yes, I used to, but now they've shut that down too. So they closed all that back down again.
Ooh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but it'll be open in another week or two.
Well, I guess what I want to know what you do. I want to know what you're doing for your mental health. Hell, that's a good question for a psychiatrist. You can all say thank you now. You're welcome.
Harumph. Give the governor harumph. Well, this is good because we already did a show on this, so my answers are well prepared. Me personally.
You and Dr. Schulman.
Yes.
We did I never asked you this.
Episode 7 was called Healer, Heal Thyself. And it was that particular question you just asked. Like, what do the providers and healers and counselors, therapists, doctors, what do they do to maintain their mental health?
What do you do?
What do I do? Volleyball is one thing I recently got into because my wife loves it, and I love when my wife loves something. I personally like water skiing. It's a big outlet for me. I grew up in Sarasota on the water. I'm very connected to that part of Mother Nature. As you know, I was an engineer before a doctor, so I rebuild boats and do metal fabrication, and we hand build trailers like another company I work for, restore cars. I have 3 little ones, so swimming and playing with them is very cathartic. I'll do a date night with my wife. We do formal Fridays when we were on lockdown, which was something I learned.
What does that look like, formal Fridays?
Yeah, that's basically when everyone gets dressed up to go out on the town, but you can't because you're on house arrest, and then you just have a nice formal meal at home.
Ah, who cooks?
My wife won't let me cook.
Oh,
I would like to cook, but my wife's a terrific cook,
uh-huh.
and
And you guys get dressed up?
yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
not so much anymore. But yeah, we
Oh,
because we can go out a little bit more. But
oh, right.
now
Okay.
that they're locking it back up, yeah,
Formal Fridays, I like that.
ongoing learning, being very cognizant of who you're surrounding yourself with. So selectively surrounding yourself with positivity, people who are energy givers, and not energy takers. Avoid negativity. Again, your armor is a little bit thin right now, so you got to be much more protective of an arrow getting through it right now.
Why did you become a psychiatrist?
That's not part of this
I
question.
know, but I want to know. I'm really like, I want to know. I want to know like the real answer. Why
How
did
much
you?
time we got? I mean, I don't know. Is that the short
You don't
answer?
know. Why
No, I
did you become
guess.
a psychiatrist? I know that you know, but I want a deep answer. I want
All
people.
right, all right. Is
I
anyone going to
took
watch this?
two people,
Okay, if two people
my
watch this, I'll
mom
tell the
and my
truth.
dad. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell the truth then. When I was about 6 years old, I got shoved out of a big Cuban laurel tree, like a banyan tree, has the above ground roots. And needless to say, I landed head first on one of them there roots. Might explain my tick. But basically, I was in a coma. I was out. I
Ooh,
was out
really?
like a light. And during that time, I had what later, well, actually, it was pretty much right at the same time, was being coined a near death experience. Raymond Moody talked about a classic near death experience. I had the whole thing. I was out of my body. I was viewing what my relatives were doing. Um, I had all the core, what they call core NDE features, the tunnel and the white light. And it didn't seem very peculiar to me because I was literally 6 years old. And if anything, it seemed familiar as if that was where I came from 6 short years ago. But I didn't know how to file that into my 6-year-old intellect. I didn't recognize how atypical of an experience it was for a little tyke to have. So I kind of filed that away in my brain and went about my life. And I think it shaped a lot of my sense of, you know,
How long were you in coma?
spirituality.
How long?
About a day, I think a day, day and a half.
Okay.
But it was kind of gritty because back then they didn't know, if I was going to wake up. MRI machines, they had just been invented. I don't even know if I got an MRI because they were brand new. Um, but yeah, I woke up about a day and a half later and was splitting headache, and tried to talk about the experience. No one wanted to hear it. They thought it was a hallucination, and I was just some little kid talking dreams. So I stuffed that for a long time, and I'm very left-brained by nature, as you know, and I went off to college and studied engineering. And I knew that I wanted to get into healthcare. My father was a neurologist, and my stepfather um, was a pulmonologist and critical care guy. And they're both deceased now, but they instilled, I guess, my interest and love and understanding of medicine. Then I started, because my father was a neurologist, I was really looking at neurology because I found that equally as exciting. But what was disappointing is how quickly I could learn everything that my neurology rotations were teaching me. And to me, it was very reductionistic and very much lesion localization. And it was very impersonal. Grand rounds, they'd parade patients with these serious neurologic diseases and literally just treat them like specimens, like diseases, not talk to them at all. And I felt really uncomfortable with that. And then in psychiatry, I just have always enjoyed talking to people and understanding what makes them tick. Everything from their normal interactions with people, their attitudes, their emotions, their behaviors, to bigger choices. Why do some people choose Republican versus Democrat? Some people believe that's hardwired into our brains. Nature versus nurture was always a kind of an esoteric argument. So I kind of like these unsolvable puzzles because, you know, when you take the brain and ostensibly the mind, you can disassemble it, put it back together, and you're going to have something else. It's more than the sum of its parts. And that fascinated me. I was like a cat with a ball of yarn, you know, just constantly entertained. And I've been really entertained every day since. And that's kind of how I ended up here. That and I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night.
What?
Isn't that the commercial?
Oh, no, I don't get that. I don't watch television. I mean,
Well, I've been having a television in 14 years, but even I know that joke.
Sorry.
Your two audience members, right? They are laughing.
My parents, no, I'm going to disagree. They're from Ireland, and
they won't get the I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, right? No, they won't get that reference.
Probably not. They watch old movies every night. Anyway, back to
frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. That one was for them. That was for them.
Well, I know that one. I don't know your Holiday Inn thing, but I know that one. Frankly, my dear. Okay, so that is I didn't know any of that. I'm
full of surprises.
You are.
Waters run deep. That's why I'm very shallow.
I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know about the near-death experience. I have a lot of thoughts about that I won't talk about now. Maybe another show. Your dad being a neurologist, my whole life, you know, I feel more intelligent because I can say radiculopathy. That doesn't mean I am intelligent. It just means I can say radiculopathy. So I have this great respect for neurology. Anybody that does study the brain, I love not studying, but I do love studying people and what makes them tick, but no interest at all in clinical medicine at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah, believe me, I would be horrible at that. But and then your stepfather as well. I think that's so interesting. So let me ask about, so you become an engineer first, and then you're like the total opposite of who I am. I have an idea. I'll go to school some more.
Yeah, I don't talk like that. Actually? I might have done this, but I didn't say it with that accent. But no, you know, because I was a biomedical engineer and I was interested in the time in going into orthopedic surgery specifically. One of my neighbors was a very famous orthopod in town, and he was running all the time. I don't know why he wasn't in the OR. No, he was always in the OR, but you know, he'd run sometimes and see me out working on cars. It's some passion I've done my whole life, and say, hey, you know, what we do in the OR is the same thing that you're doing here, except our drills are nitrogen powered, you know, whereas mine were air powered. And he just knew that I was very good with my hands and very mechanically minded, and thought I'd make a great orthopod. And I respected him, looked up to him. And so I was already going off to study engineering, probably to follow in the footsteps of my brother, who kind of I looked up more to as a father, because my dad died when I was 4. I didn't know him very well.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, you should be. No, thank you. I think's the appropriate response. And then I just
wait. Huh? Can I just ask? I mean, how did he die? You were so young.
He had MS, and MS probably killed him. But he might have had a lung cancer, although he never smoked. It was sort of an incidental finding. But he was quite sick with multiple sclerosis for at least the last 5 years of his life.
As a neurologist.
The irony, was very thick. And the treatments were not very good back then. Like I said, MRIs weren't even invented when he was diagnosed.
Right. You just turned 65, right? Last week?
Me? Yeah. Can't you tell?
Right. So, and
my white beard.
Right. And then
get a load of this thing. I'm going to shave it off this week.
That's nice. Well, I'm wearing a wig. because I have
You look lovely. I was going to say something, but I didn't
have a
know
wig
if
on.
I didn't want to offend your parents.
Look, I have a wig on. It's a Bravada's wig. It's a client of mine that provides wigs to cancer patients, alopecia, rheumatoid arthritis, people losing their hair.
I love the layering. I forget what it's called, décolletage or something.
It's actually called
Dressage.
It's actually called Sharon never is going to get her hair done again.
What do they call it with the different layers and colors? There's some fancy name. That's what all the kids are doing these days.
I have to ask a hairdresser about
I'll
that.
ask my wife. She knows.
She knows a lot of things, obviously.
It's something.
So now I'm curious now too about, so then your stepfather walks in. How long until your mom?
A couple years. My mom remarried. My stepfather, who was he was what we call the doctor's doctor. So he was a very serious, very academic. He was actually one of the youngest doctors in America. He really was the Googie Chowder or Doogie Howser. Whatever.
Or him.
He really was a Doogie Chowder. He was quite young, quite brilliant, probably one of the smartest men I ever knew. Very reliable, very consistent. Probably a little bit Asperger's. But I had a tremendous amount of respect for him and his work ethic and his clinical diagnostic skills. And I mean, I still carry a lot of him with me, honestly.
And you said you have a brother?
I have two brothers that I know of.
Older?
Older.
Two older brothers. And are they in the medical field too?
Thank God, no.
Wow, I was like,
they're normal.
There's some line of doctors surrounding.
Yeah, no, I was the freak of nature. My oldest brother is also an engineer. He went to Duke and got his MBA there too, and designs network systems and does IT and network engineering and I don't know, computer stuff. I don't really know how to find computers, much less work on them.
You don't even know if you're doing a podcast or
I don't even know if this is a computer I'm talking to or if I'm faced the wrong direction in the corner. And my middle brother was an airline pilot, and he had some similar health issues, and is now selling real estate.
Oh, okay.
But I'm encouraging him, as most of my family, to get back in the pilot seat because he's the best damn pilot that ever lived. And it's the one time that I see my brother transform into a superhero. He's just
loves it, right?
He absolutely lives and breathes it.
I know. Every pilot that I know, it's like breathing for them.
It's something that we don't have.
No.
Absolutely.
No. I know. Even one of my doctor friends, Dr. Said, he's a pilot. And when he talks about it, just like when he talks about music, his whole face changes. He lights up.
Yep. It's interesting. That's the way he is. And I feel safer with him than I would any airline pilot. I mean, he flew for United Express, an actual airline, but I just, it's what he lives for.
Did you say United Express?
Mm-hmm. It's like a smaller carrier division of United Airlines.
I thought it was a combination of United Airlines and FedEx.
No.
Okay. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
It's like, no.
Wrong.
Yeah, and then there was me.
And so, yeah, that's kind of amazing. All right, well, I have this idea. As you were talking before, I had this idea, and I'm going to spring it on you after the show.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll...
Wait, you were recording this whole time?
Oh, I didn't tell you. Yeah, so this will be out. I told you 2 people will be watching, my mom, my dad, Marie.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, you're super fan. My mom is in the backyard right now. She's swimming with my chocolate lab.
Is she the one subscriber we have on our show?
Probably.
I thought it was my mom.
No.
It's your mom. Oh.
My mom, she doesn't even know. I wouldn't even tell her I was talking to you right now because she'd probably be right here.
Well, just tell her that I said I'm not worthy.
I will tell her, and I will be sure to tell her that twice.
Yeah.
So your show with Dr. Richard Shulman, I do want to encourage everybody to watch. It's called
The Alt Psych Show.
The Old Psych Show. And I do think it's great because it is a psychiatrist and a psychologist having a discussion about like everything.
Psyches.
And you both love music. I do know that. It's one of the reasons. So I'm going to tell the audience something real quick because this is longer than a show that I've done in a long time. I usually cut people off right after 20 minutes. But I'm actually interested in you, which is, I don't even like to admit that out loud, but I am.
I wouldn't.
I just did. I don't edit my shows. So there you go. But when I met Richard, I just like, oh my God, like he's got guitars in his office. I got to have him back on the show too, because I think what I want to do is dedicate the entire month of July to mental health.
I think you're a visionary and a genius.
Thank you. But I really think that we need this more than ever.
We need it right now, because right now is when people are finally getting over the initial stages, the shock of the pandemic, the denial, the bargaining, the anger. I mean, there are people out there that are still at the shock and still at the anger and still at the bargaining, but most people are getting to a sobering moment of acceptance that this is the new normal, and I need to let go of my hope that the past would somehow slide into my future, and we could erase this memory from existence. This is evolution.
Yeah.
It's social evolution, it's political evolution, it's biologic evolution. This damn virus is mutating faster than we can even dream up a vaccine. So it's something that's just going. And
we're doing very well here in Florida. We're winning with the numbers.
Wait, what week did you record this?
We're so embarrassing.
We're screwed. We're all gonna die.
We're going down. No, that's not true. We certainly don't want to. We're very happy to see people wearing masks and not having parties with 30 to 60 people in a 500 square foot room.
By the way, masks are very itchy when you have a beard.
I bet they are. But it's probably not a great idea to walk around, talk about like how you're sick of wearing masks when there's actual medical doctors out there wearing them all day long.
Yeah, and they probably have beards too.
For sure they have beards. They don't have time to shave. You, on the other hand, have plenty of time. What's your excuse?
What are you talking about? I'm too busy recording shows all the time.
Right.
For your mom to watch.
You are, I think the other part of that is you guys are so busy right now because there's such a need. And I get asked a lot where, unfortunately and fortunately for you, I get asked a lot, who should I talk to? And I'm always sending people your way and to Dr. Shulman's. And so I could be a part of the problem and the solution with making you so busy. But I do think that when you are choosing, one thing I will agree with on this list that I went over is that if you don't feel like you connect with your doctor, your therapist, you probably should listen to that gut reaction and run. No, I'm kidding.
Run to our office.
Run to see Dr. Mark Sylvester.
Let's capitalize on this pandemic.
Oh, God. If I hear that one more time about the mental health industry capitalizing on this pandemic, I think...
No, because we've never had a shortage of business. There's never been much more than lip service given to mental health. Right. And to me, and I'm biased, but I don't think of myself as a primary psychiatrist. Like, truly in my heart, I started out my life, I identify as an engineer and a father, and I do a lot of integrated health and neurology. So even all of that, psychiatry is so undervalued, so underutilized. There's nowhere near enough people to deal with the usual status quo of problems. And right now we have an explosion of everybody being affected by this. It's just, and many people getting affected to a point where it's impairing them, their social or occupational or physical functioning, that it's very overwhelming. it's sad and terrifying at the same time. I'm much more concerned about that than I am the virus.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
That's why I want to dedicate July to just talking about mental
I
health.
think I honor you and think that that's genius.
But I want also for you to know you're going to be doing a lot more of these interviews, because I do think that the greatest value that I could offer somebody is to hear from somebody like you. Because listen, not just some people can't afford to go, some people can't get it, some people don't have insurance, some people are afraid
Wait lists.
What?
Wait lists. That's we're getting more and more backed up.
Yes. So I think that we need to be a resource to everybody. And I got chills thinking about it. That means it's right. So boom, we're bringing in the 4th of July with a bang. We might not be able to see fireworks, but we will be able to listen to you.
I like it. And I got chills too, but it turns out that the thermostat got stuck. So.
Well, get used to that humor, everybody, because he's going to bring it, and he's going to bring it strong.
Oh, it's already been brought in.
And he's creating new words as we speak. Brought.
Are we done here?
Yeah, we're done. We're done. We're going to wrap up. So say goodbye, everybody.
I got Larry King on at 6. I'm sorry. He's got questions for me too.
Of course. So go to CNN. Take care. Thank you so much. Is it CNN that Larry's on? I don't even know.
I think he died, honestly.
I'm hanging up. Goodbye. Oh, wait, look, I want to show you. A doctor's calling me. Can you see that?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Tell them to go to all psych.
Who knew doctors would do that? Bye.
Thank you.
So don't forget, if you mention that you have seen the show or listened to the podcast, Thai Technology, 3 months for free.